Hey, and welcome to today's episode of Jesse Spec YouTube channel. Today I want to go into details and show you actually where my MR2 sits right now from all the modifications I've done to it until now. And so we'll be looking under the car, on top, inside, the engine, everything. So I just want to show you really and do a full review of what my car looks like and where it sits right now before we actually go into pulling everything apart. So also I will be putting it on my scales to measure how heavy the car is, so we can actually see the evolution once all modifications will be done. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Okay, so the first modification I did on my car was a Fujitsubo power getter exhaust. As you see, I still have the stock catalyzer in the back. I have a rear spoiler on the trunk, and I have 16-inch wheels in the back and 15-inch wheels in the front, and they are Wedsport TC105X wheels. I have also a body kit, so I have side skirts and the front lip from an unknown brand. Honestly, I don't know exactly where it comes from. So let's look into the interior. As you see, I have a NRG quick release because I'm 196 centimeters tall, so I had to install that, otherwise you will not see me getting into the car. I love the sound of this quick release. Ding. There we go. Now for the engine sound. Listen to this. Listen to that samurai sword noise when starting the engine. That's the OS-Giken clutch. You can hear it rattling a lot. No, it's not broken. It's actually a racing clutch. It's perfectly normal. Let's move the car a little bit backwards. Yes, the engine light is on because one of my stock O2 sensors of the 1ZZ just died yesterday. Now, let's open the front trunk. As you all know, there's no engine in front. So let's check it out, what it looks like. So I removed my spare tire. I just have the foam in case I would have a leak. I have my BC Racing ER Coil-overs and the Cusco strut brace in front. Now let's take a look at the rear. Note on the rear trunk I have still a GT wing that I removed because the cops in Switzerland don't like that. I have a Cusco strut brace and I have my BC Racing coilovers. Make sure to look at the link above to see how to install them in your own MR2. I made a tutorial for you guys. So this is what it looks like from the rear. I didn't talk much about it, but I have Dixcel brakes that were sponsored to me by Dixcel Japan. Thank you very much, Suzuki-san. So I have SD slotted brakes, rotors front and rear, and the Dixcel Ztype pads front and rear as well. I have Cusco door bars just for extra safety. I still have the stock passenger seat. I have a Bride Zeta XL for me as a driver since I'm a huge guy. I have the Hard Dog racing roll bar as well, and I have a 6-point HPI urban camouflage harness. Now let's take a look at the car on the lift. This car is pretty low, so it's actually pretty much of a pain to get it on this lift, to move it around, and I end up anyway by putting pieces of wood on it because I couldn't put the arms underneath. So you just could see the Fujitsubo muffler. It's a catback exhaust. I love how it wildly goes all over around inside the engine bay there in the back with the stock catalyzer. I have a Cusco Sway bar in the back as well. And I have these reinforcement Cusco bars that as far as I know, in the second phase cars, they were stock. But since mine is a phase 1, I had to install this. Look at this funky exhaust, I love it. So, oh yeah, if I didn't mention it, I have Yokohama tires, AD08Rs in the back and AD08RSs in the front, because those are the new ones. Look at the Cusco reinforcement plates I have for the middle of the chassis, and also the subframe brace, which honestly I felt a huge difference. I also have a Cusco front sway bar, of course combined with my BC Racing ER Coil-overs. Make sure to check my tutorial on how to install coilovers. The link will be available above. So you can see the external reservoirs here of my BC Racing. Otherwise, pretty stock underneath. In general, looking good and working very well. Alright, so now let's get into some parts that you do not see. I installed OS-Giken LSD. It's a 1.5 way. Here's a little bit of footage I made for my other YouTube channel to show you how it actually works with the plates in it. And to be honest, this has to be hands down the best LSD on the market for this car. It's like really awesome, the quality. My clutch also is a OS-Giken STR single plate one. You can see the different parts that are in it, and I am so thankful for OS-Giken Japan as well for sponsoring me actually the clutch and giving me an awesome deal on the LSD. So thank you so much, Izumori-san. Hontou ni arigatou gozaimasu. So I just received my Proform scale kit. Here you can see with all the scales and everything. So I'll be installing that right now, so let's get started. So here you see the setup. We have left front, left rear, right rear. So let's start by doing these. Now let's install all the scales. So let's start with the rear. So here we put both the rear scales under the back wheels, and now the two other scales under the front wheels. Of course, it's important to note that yes, we already checked if the floor is perfectly flat, and as you will see right now, I'm checking again that the scales are actually sitting flat on the floor in order to avoid any errors when we're measuring the weight in each corner, and this will allow us to see the balance of the car and see if everything is in place and perfectly adjusted. We can also do corner balancing thanks to these scales, and this is why I decided to buy them. So. In the meanwhile, while Jesse Yaro is trying to figure out how the hell all these cables come out of the box, I just wanted to say that I haven't gone into the whole process of actually corner balancing the car. That will be a video in itself. So here we have stick around, especially once I'll have the final setup with all the 2ZZ and new transmission and everything in it. I will go through the whole process, and I might actually make a tutorial on how to corner balance your MR2. So if that interests you, make sure to let me know in the comments, and I will do the best to make that video as quickly as possible. On the inside, like that. Cables don't bother everything. Okay. All right. We do the next one. Here, let's do it the same. Turn it like this. So this is the blue one. Oh, hang on, I got these wrong. Whoops! There we go, this one. Voila. And this one too over here. There we go. Okay, so I keep the camera nearby. Look, let's turn on the machine. So it's turning on right now. Okay, let's turn on the light. Can we see this on the camera? Looking good. So this is to put it back to 0. I want it in kilograms, see? Like this. So let's make a test. see if I film here, if you push here. Is it working? If I stand on it, how much does it say?
1060
106?
いつも変わってる
Okay, it seems to work. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So let's test them all quickly.
切れたよな
So, let's take a look what we have here. Kilograms. So let's take a brief look at the data. So you can hold the camera. Can you see here? Okay. So as we can see here, total weight of the car 1,014 kilograms. You can see we have exactly 1/4 of the tank inside the car. Alright, so as you can see here, I put the car on the scales and let's take a look at the results. So we can see here, total weight roughly 1,014 kilograms. That's pretty good. As we can see, the balance left, right could be a bit better. So we have 28, 30 and 22, 19. There will be some possibilities to improve that, but that's going to be for another video. So now that we took a look at all the mods, I think it's only normal that we take it for a spin in the beautiful region where we live, in the Lavaux area, on my favorite road. This is what I call the Budou Touge. Budou Touge means the mountain road of the grapes. Enjoy. I guess you can understand why I call this the Budou Touge. As you can see on the right, it's full of grapes everywhere. So we're in the middle of the area called Lavaux, which is full of vineyards and grape plantations everywhere with very nice wine, by the way. And I really love this region, and this is really a road that drives straight through it. As you can see, it is on parallel to the highway that is on the side. That was a hearse, by the way. Very random, but anyway, this has to be one of my favorite curves. Gives you a nice left-hander that really you can enjoy the speed driving through there. It's really an awesome curve, and here we continue through the rest of the area. As you can see, this section of the course is a little bit faster, less tight hairpins, and here we are entering the area where we're gonna be below the highway again. It's really like a roller coaster, this road. I really love it. And we'll be entering a couple S-turns here, one on the right and then one on the left. Those go perfectly in second gear, and now we enter the place where we can shift up to third, and it's a bit of a higher speed curve, and we're going to be entering the ending part with a few hairpins coming up right now. I have to admit, from a general driving experience, this car has absolutely fantastic handling. It's so neutral and nice to drive. It also feels very safe when even driving at the limit. I'm not saying I'm doing that on the street, but this car really has an awesome driving feeling to it. The only thing I really dislike about it is the engine. The 2ZZ is imminent and ready to go into the car. So that is going to be the next step of this build. All right, we're back in the office, and as you've seen, the car weighs only 1,040-ish kilos. Let's not forget there's a really heavy duty roll cage in there, as well as there's a hard top and everything. So the car was totally in its full functional state. So it's actually a bit heavier than what the stock car should be. The empty weight of this car usually is 994 kilos. So we see that we're roughly 30 kilos heavier, but with all kinds of extra modifications. And I also have to say 1/3 of the tank was full. So anyway, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, or if you want me to talk about anything in particular, make a video about something, please feel free to write a comment below. I read every single comment and I answer to every comment. And I also wanted to say, if you want to help me out, make sure to like this video. Make sure to like it. It actually helps, because on YouTube the algorithm will push the videos further if I have more likes. And if you want to go a step further even, you can actually comment below, say something. So if you do that, that would really help me out. And of course, subscribing is always a bonus, but I want you to interact with my videos, and I hope you could actually learn something through this. And as always, thank you so much for watching this, and see you next week.